spicy chili sauce has just enough heat in it to be interesting, but not enough to be painful. So this is one that I actually really like to make out of my tomatoes. I've already prepped my 13 pounds of tomatoes. I just cut the tomatoes into quarters and then put them in my pan. This just makes it so that they'll cook down a little more easily. Sometimes if they're a really tiny tomato, I might only cut them in half, or if, say, I'm doing cherry tomatoes, I might not cut them at all. But for these, or for the Romas, which are really what I prefer for doing a sauce, then I would cut them in quarters. My 2 onions. For this sauce, I'm dicing the onion, but I want it to be a little on the smaller side because it is a part of a sauce. So I try to make it a little bit more fine. And my 2 red peppers. Just like the onions, I try to dice up the peppers just a little bit more finely. I want them to be dispersed through the sauce really well. Now I'll place the tomatoes on the burner and get them nice and soft. It usually takes about 20 minutes or so of simmering, but the key is that they have to be soft enough to go through the food mill. I then load up my hopper with the softened tomatoes, and I'll work them through the unit. It's really nice because I have the pulp that comes out of the spout that then gets caught in my honey strainer, and then all of the juice goes down below. And then, of course, my skin and seeds go right here. It's a pretty slick machine, really. This will take about 2 times of filling the hopper up to do 13 pounds worth of tomatoes. If you have any questions about how to use a food mill in detail, go ahead and take a look at my other video. If you look at the skin and seeds, you'll actually see that there's a lot of moisture in there. So I go through and do those one more time. I'm ready to add the rest of my ingredients. So I have my 2 cups of onions and 2 red peppers, 2 cups of vinegar, and 1 cup of sugar. I then have 3 tablespoons of pickling spice that I'll fold up in my little spice bag here. So then I'll put my spice bag in the sauce, as well as 3 tablespoons of salt, 3 tablespoons of garlic, 1 tablespoon of celery seed, 1 tablespoon of mustard seed, and 1 teaspoon of chipotle pepper powder. This is what makes it nice and spicy. So if you don't like it as spicy, this is what you would adjust. Or if you like it extra spicy, I suppose too. I'll then mix it together, put it on the stove, and let it simmer for 20 minutes. So this has been simmering for 20 minutes, and I still feel like it's a little on the thin side. So I'll continue to simmer it for a little bit longer, just until I get it to the right thickness for me. The first thing I'll do is remove my packet of spices. I'll fill these pint-sized jars up to 1/2 an inch of headspace, which is the space from the top of the food to the top of the jar. If you've ever submitted any of your stuff into the fairs, you'll know just how important headspace is. I actually really recommend supporting our fairs. The number of canning goods that they get actually make a difference on the income that they get, because they're supposed to be involved in education and helping people to learn how to preserve food. I then take a clean, damp cloth and I clean off around the rim of the jar. This just helps it to seal better. Otherwise, if there's any food stuff on the edge, it can get in the way of that silicone sealing. I then place on all of my lids and I apply my rings on fingertip tight. I'll then place them in the boiling water bath for 15 minutes if I'm at sea level. Because I'm at 1,200 feet, I'm going to do it for 20. Now that it's come to a nice rolling boil, I'll set the timer. Now that the timer's gone off, I'll remove the lid and turn off the stove and give it 5 minutes to cool down. I then remove them from the canner, keeping them about 1 to 2 inches apart, and this allows them to cool quickly so that they get past that danger zone. I try to make sure that it goes on some kind of a heat-resistant surface, and I'll let them sit for 24 hours before I remove the ring and use hot soapy water to clean them off, and then I'll store them in my cool, dark pantry for anywhere from 1 to 3 years. So this is the spicy chili sauce, and it definitely has a little bit of heat to it, but it's heat that I like. I mean, that chipotle pepper has so much flavor to it. Chipotle peppers are actually jalapenos that have been ripened and then smoked. And so you get that kind of smoky feel with it. And then you also get the taste of the onions when you bite into them, as well as the peppers. I mean, This stuff is just amazing on any red meat.